you ever wondered what it takes to run a Supercross team? What the day-to-day looks like? How about behind the scenes at the races and what happens during the week between rounds? Join me, Ryan Kuntz, as we follow the Mad Parts, Double Eagle MX, Numera Technologies Kawasaki team through their journey in the 2021 Supercross season. This is After the Gate Drop. Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Ryan, your host, here on another episode of After the Gate Drops. Episode number 2, a week later. Hopefully you guys enjoyed episode number 1. We are here with another awesome backdrop. Nice place here. Double Eagle MX, part of Double Eagle Ranch. This is one of our newer sponsors to the team, supporters, and man, they just have a great facility here. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. We rode here today. Logan, actually all three of us rode today, but Logan and Bubba, we're still missing Joan. He's actually in Mexico quarantine. Hopefully we'll be here with us in the next few days, and it'll be good to have him back because it's been a long time. So welcome, everybody. We got a good episode for you, a lot of cool content, some fun stuff. We got a new segment to talk about. It's called Would You Rather. It could get interesting. And
possibly a little inappropriate.
Maybe, yeah.
That's
maybe
cool.
A little bit. Yeah. I don't have the demographics yet on our podcast to know how many kids are watching. So I don't know. We may need to wait a little
We'll keep
longer.
it like PG-13 or something like that.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm okay
Cool.
with that. So yeah. Anyways, welcome everybody. We have a lot of good stuff. So we'll kind of just roll into what our day looked like today, I think, and then we can talk about some relevant topics within the sport, what's going on, any updates with the team and what's new, how you guys are feeling and so forth. Obviously, like I said, we still don't have Joan here. So, but yeah, anyways, so we were here at Double Eagle. We talked a little bit about that last week, but they built a new Supercross track here. It is a membership only facility. They do have a couple open rides throughout the year, throughout the summer. So you definitely want to be following them to make sure that you're kind of in the loop on when they do those open rides. If you're not a member, obviously look that up and look into joining so that you can have the access to the facilities and to ride. And then Bubba can talk a little bit about that as the general manager. But as you can see behind us, it's a fantastic facility. I think it's like 2,500 acres. But yeah, I guess we'll just kind of roll right into it. What is it that, we're here on the premises of Double Eagle MX? Like what is the facility consist of and how does someone find out more, Bubba?
Yeah, so we're here in the gym in the shop right now. It's all brand new equipment. They got everything that a motocross racer needs to go out and get their training program kicked off and keep it rolling. So just across the street we got the big motocross track, a couple turn tracks, the Supercross track, got the starting gate, some turn ovals, figure eights. A little bit of everything, and it's only growing and only getting better. So I've been training and doing a lot of stuff out here since July, pretty much full time. And man, it's great. Really helped bring the program to the next level, and been having some good groups of guys out here training with, and teaching younger riders and doing some training programs with that as well. So yeah, it's awesome to have a facility like this here in St. Louis, and really in the Midwest, there's really not too much. I mean, even across the country, to be honest, there's really not a setup that's compares to this. We're secluded. There's not many distractions out here. It's just it's full motocross. It's peaceful when they're it's rest recovery time, and then it's that's your main focus when it's time to go.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is my first time here. Obviously, I've known Teddy and George who run and own the facility, but I've just never had a chance to be here. And I pulled in here, this morning and saw the grounds. Like I said, it's like 2,500 acres. The farm and the ranch is on both sides of the road, and you're just kind of driving. All of a sudden, boom, there's a motocross track, and there's an entrance to it, and you kind of roll in, you go down the hill, and boom, there's a Supercross track, right? So it's awesome. Kind of like you said, in the Midwest, like even as a small budget team and someone who kind of bases their program out of the Midwest, and here in St. Louis, where it's known for cold weather in the wintertime, to even just have one Supercross track to ride on in your own backyard, which is fantastic, and you do a good job with that. You have a second one, and that's just awesome. That's kind of like hopefully answers the questions out there for people who are kind of like, how do you run your program off the Midwest, like right before season starts when the weather's bad? And as long as the weather's cooperating. I mean, honestly, it's actually those freeze and thaws, it's worse, but it's better when it's frozen if it's going to be that way. But great track here today, Logan. What's your thoughts of the compound here and the track a little bit, and you know, talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, the track's awesome. We rode quite a bit today, and we put in a few long motos, and yeah, track was really good. We threw some water down, and it shaped up really good. Actually got pretty rutted, and it was really good practice. But yeah, they have like a full gym, and they got literally everything's like brand new. It's awesome out here, and like the 2,500 acres. Bubba took me for a ride like on the mule around the whole property, and it's like an awesome piece of property. They got obviously a ton of horses and everything, and then there's like a big lake in the back, and yeah, it's like a dream place. Then you go across the street, and there's like a full blown motocross track, and like I'm at a full blown supercross track now, so it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I really like the layout here today, and man, we had some fun water in it today. It was kind of like Bubba's like yelling at me. I didn't know what I was doing. It wasn't spraying right. The mud was all over me. You're trying to like manage the hose, and
I was trying to do what I could. I wasn't a whole lot of help, but I was trying.
Julie's in the passenger seat trying to like communicate. No, it was good, but hey, it worked out. Track was good.
Yeah. Well, the problem with that was that, you know, here in December we get a lot of freezes and stuff, so the water truck was already winterized. It was, you know, put back up in the shop, and, you know, well, there's warm and, you know, stuff starting to dry out. So it's like, oh crap, now we have to water. We've been blessed the last couple of weeks. We haven't been able to water because, you know, freeze thaw, you had some rain. The dirt was great, but yeah, I had to throw some water down today. So unwinterized stuff, get it going, drag it over there. And one of the sprayers was a little plugged up, so I had to get some adjusting, had to drag the hose off the side of the water truck. But yeah, we got done what we needed to do and got the track in good shape, and got our laps in.
Dude, I got to fly over here about to earn me. Sorry. Yeah. So talk a little bit about today. And now, Bubba, I got to apologize on last week's episode. I totally asked Logan what his goals and expectation was, and I just breezed right past you. I didn't even ask you. So, terrible team manager decision there. And I got reprimanded for it after that episode. I'm glad I still have a job, but we'll certainly get to that after this, though. But let's stay on the topic of the track, I guess, and just today's riding. You know, on a day like today where we're pushing almost 4 weeks, I mean, we're a little over 4 weeks, like 5 weeks out, I guess, from round one in Houston. What is it that you're working on today? Like today, you know, you rode yesterday, you rode today, you're probably going to ride tomorrow. But what's the mentality that you have going into the track, both of you guys, like today? Like what did you do today? What were you working on? What's the goal when you're 5 weeks out? And does that change as you get closer to round one?
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, you know, we're working on, you know, more baseline, endurance and, you know, some longer sets of motos, and, just work on consistency, build that platform up a bit more. And, you know, each week now we're going to be working on more sprint stuff, higher intensity, close those gaps down a bit, and elevate the intervals and stuff like that. So, like I said, today was a bit more of a longer duration, work on the consistency, build that platform up. And, you know, like I said, it'll be changing, you know, as we close into the season. But, you know, some long days on like today for sure. You know, we had good weather, and, you know, we woke up and you know, had to head over to the track, and had a coffee stop on the way, and then got here and got everything going. And this time of year, you know, the days get shorter, so gets dark around, you know, 4:30 or so. So we got to make it count pretty quick. And so yeah, quick day though. So we'll drive back home this afternoon or this evening yet, and get ready for another day tomorrow.
Yeah. So Logan, talk a little bit about, you know, Bubba definitely talked high level, kind of what the strategy is going into, you know, your practice sessions and stuff right now. Talk a little bit more about today, and a little bit more detail as far as what you were doing, how you're breaking down the motos, what you were working, maybe what you specifically were working on during those motos too as well.
Yeah, like I've pretty much been just jumping in kind of what Bubba's been doing for the past few weeks. I trust Bubba a lot. I feel like he's in very good shape, and better than me. So I'm trying to get to that point, and just kind of trying to push through it and get as many laps in as he does. And I think at the end of the day, it's going to help me out a lot, because I've kind of struggled with putting in a lot of like longer motos before the season. I kind of always did like more sprint stuff, like heat race stuff, and then I got to the main events, and I was like a little more winded than I think I should have been. So I've just been trying. I'm working really hard, trying to put in a lot of laps, and trying to get it done before the season starts.
Yeah. And then Bubba, like that last moto today, you know, I mean, how many laps did you guys end up putting in?
I think the last one we did was 18 or 19 laps.
Yeah.
Kicked my ass.
Yeah, man, that was, you know, higher intensity too. I'm talking about, you know, we'll raise the intensity up here in the coming weeks, but man, my average heart rate was 195, max was 202 in that one. So there was no lack of intensity in that moto by any means. It was just for a longer duration. So, you know, it's sometimes when you get in the flow of that, it takes a little bit longer to get, might take a couple laps to get your intensity up. So that's what I say when we need to work on the intensity, get that interval base to where we can, you know, like a light switch, go that high max intensity right away. So right now, you know, we still got some work to do on that, but that's not what we've been working on. So, like I said, that stuff's a little bit more fine tunable, and we can do that closer to the season and make sure we're recovered. So we're not just pounding out long motos all the time right before the season starts.
Yeah. A little bit more, just kind of hang on this topic for just a few more minutes here as far as the track goes. So the way that the track's laid out here at Double Eagle, the Supercross track, and Bubba, you built a large portion of that, obviously with some help, but a lot of the design elements that you kind of incorporated came from you. No like start gate, but you kind of have a start area kind of off to the side by the whoops, and then you kind of roll right into some rhythm sections. So you got 2 rhythm sections here. You got a pretty good, decent sized whoop section, and you know, a triple and a finish line, which is pretty standard for a Supercross track. But what about these rhythms? I mean, they're towards the end of the day. You're battling some different elements. I mean, you talked about we got shorter days, the sun's setting, and things like that. So maybe talk a little bit about those rhythms and, you know, what makes them maybe technical, and then you're battling kind of the sun as well. Like, just, I don't know, just talk a little bit about the track for people who obviously can't see it, and kind of some of those things that you're kind of battling with. But you may not have those elements always in the stadium, but how do you like navigate around those things?
Yeah, so it's kind of funny you say that. We'll be racing in Dallas, Texas this year, or Arlington, whatever they want to call it. And that stadium is that the sun gets shining through that. It's deadly.
That
Logan can
LCQ
account for
last
that.
year
Oh
was
my gosh,
so squirrely.
Our second qualifying session. I think last year we did Triple Crown there, so there's an LCQ during the day. But normally that last qualifying session, that sun shines right through those glass windows, the long length of the stadium, and you're blinded through there. So, you know, I'm a big believer on cross-referencing everything you do in training to race scenarios. So today, you know, the days are getting shorter. At the end of the day, the sun was setting, you know, a bit more in the south, and the track runs north-south. So we had some pretty big ruts and a very technical long rhythm section, and they were pretty shadowed over. And you know, the sun wasn't quite in our eyes yet, but we were definitely getting some shadows and getting some more, definitely more sun in our eyes. So, you know, we were able to get through it, and you know, you got to ride, you know, smart in those situations, but you want to keep the intensity up. So, you know, you make a little mistake, and you know, your heart rate spikes a little bit more, and you know, so it's definitely challenging. But like I said, if you're cross referencing everything to a race like scenario, you know, hey, we can pull that out of our toolbox when we get to Dallas and say, you know, hey, second qualifying session, you know, what's been there, done that already. You know, we got days training, and you know, we're used to that. But it's all a perspective thing too. You know, there's a lot of riders that, you know, they might train like that, and they get to the race and they're all flustered because they can't see because the sun's shining right in the stadium. So, but the guys that acknowledge that they've already been through that, they've trained in that, you know, they're going to be more confident. That's not going to affect them as much simply from your mindset and how you do it. So, I definitely, you know, take notes on all those very important things just like that. So lots of very, very valuable stuff that we can do. But like you talked about the track, you know, how it got broke down, and, you know, some big ruts, and, you know, some of the rhythm sections are pretty technical yet. And we're not running a start straight on the track at all. So there's really no chance to breathe. So the intensity is pretty high. And, yeah,
I know about not breathing.
Yeah.
That happened today.
I was impressed.
We'll get into that in a little bit. Sorry, I had to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
I was suffocating out there.
You put in some laps though.
I kind of. I skipped the whoop section every time though.
That's fine.
I hit
So you
it
got to
once.
start straight.
It's been a while.
Yeah, a long while. But hey, let's not spoil that one yet. But yeah, you're right. I mean, so the track broke down. You know, I guess what would be the first rhythm section that you guys would come to as you start your race, your moto, I guess, if you will. That rhythm, you know, from my point of view, I mean, I rode it obviously, but I didn't ride it to the same degree that you guys ride it, the same rhythm. But that one felt harder. That one just felt like the way that the combos that you guys were doing in there, like there was more opportunity for kind of messing it up. And then you got the factor the sun was starting to set in your eyes, so you're kind of fighting that and some of those, big to big combos, the ruts, like you couldn't really see the ruts very well, and you were battling those ruts. So you're talking about training in the elements. I guess what's the strategy, I guess, to build on that? What's the strategy in that moto that you're doing? Like, are you trying to pace yourself for the first portion of it? I mean, you're clocking your moto. I mean, you got a watch on. You guys are both running polar, and you're monitoring that, right? Like, I can see you guys looking at the watch like every few laps, kind of trying to judge your time. So like, do you have a strategy and kind of how you approach those in those race like scenarios like today? Like, you don't have to tell your strategy completely, but like, are you out there pacing yourself and then you push hard at the end, or you kind of push hard early? Like, what's that like?
I try to get off on a moto like that, try to get off to a strong start like we would in a race. There's no pacing yourself in a 450 main event, or even heat race. It's balls to the wall, as hard as you can go the whole time, and the strongest man finish first, So, I obviously try to have some of that mentality, but at the same time, it's like, we need to be building and making sure we're finishing the whole moto with intensity. So, keep it at a higher, moderate pace, something we can manage the whole time. But really, when you get to the end of those, it's taking a toll on you. So you gotta maintain that and keep that elevated as much as possible. So, start off with good flow, good momentum, and try to keep the intensity up and the speed up, the lap times consistent, and then just make sure you can hold that all the way through.
Logan, did you have any sketchy moments today? I felt like you were pretty smooth all day. I didn't really see a whole lot. How was the butt? Is the butt better?
Dude, the butt's getting better.
Okay, that's
actually good. Bubba's girlfriend got me some, what the heck was it?
Neosporin.
Yes. And then got me all taped up for today, and that actually helped a lot. I had no bleeding today, which is like huge progress. So I'm gonna have to do that same strategy when you ride tomorrow morning. But yeah, it's been a little rough the past few days.
Our former team manager, now like team nurse and jack of all trades, right?
Exactly. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Julie. So no sketchy moments. What, Bubba? Or sorry, go ahead.
Not really. I mean, I just missed the rhythm a few times. It started getting pretty gnarly. But other than that, I mean, I got a little squirrely in the whoops one lap. But I mean, other than that, felt pretty good.
Yeah, you look good. Bubba, did you have any moments where you're kind of like...
I had a couple.
Bubba doesn't like to clear the jump sometimes.
Yeah, it's short of the one. I clipped a rhythm and hit a low line in one of them and shorted it pretty good, stayed in it. And actually the next lap was my fastest lap of that moto. So I recovered from it really good. Heart rate spiked a bit there. But I think that was a 15 lapper we did. So, like I said, the next lap was my fastest lap. So, find wins in every situation there. So that was good.
You did jump off on that big to big, the last big to big in that rhythm. You kind of landed on the side of it. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I did that a couple times, but that wasn't sketchy.
Oh, dude, that was sketchy for me. No. I was like,
oh, you gotta stand
coming
there
out
and see
like
it.
The big to big and then the single in.
Yeah.
Sometimes that rut hooked you a little, right?
Yeah.
I kind of did it too.
He
If that would have been race, you would have been in the tough blocks.
If that dirt wasn't soft and it was like packed there, it might have been a little different story.
Yeah. Tough blocks would have taken you down, but we don't have those.
That's true. We don't have those.
But we're running the far side of the track right there.
You guys were all the way over. Like,
we
you had no more room.
Yeah, I mean, the track's 20 foot wide all the way around, and we're running like where the dirt's falling off on the edge.
Yeah, you're running like a 6 foot groove all the way around the whole track.
Not even 6 foot.
Not even.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Maybe I was running 6 foot
because I got on
stay aligned.
I got on the skid loader, and the skid loader
about 2 feet in the whoops.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, the skid loader was like, I think it's a 6 foot or 6.5 foot bucket, and it wasn't even the whole width of the bucket when I was fixing the track. So
yeah, it's so crazy because like obviously like when I got out there and started riding around, like I did everything I could to not run the line that you guys were, because I was like, I don't want to hit any of these ruts. So I'm like over here on the far left on pretty much every section because you guys are on the right. The whoops I just skipped all on. I could have hit the whoops. I totally could have, but it was just like, why take the risk? Like, I'm not out there for any reason other than...
I did have a sketchy moment in the whoops. It wasn't my fault. So Logan was right on the left side consistently, and as they broke down, I kind of changed the lineup and started running to the right. And Teddy was filming.
Was you? I thought it was Logan.
No, Teddy was filming, and I guess Logan came through, and he was on the left side, and then I came through, and I was on the right side, and he was standing on the track on the right side, like trying to get a good close shot. And I was going through the whoops, and I saw him. I was like, he better move because I'm not letting off. And he jumped out of the way at last second. But
yeah, he flipped you off after you went by. Threw his hands off.
I didn't see that.
Julie and I were looking at each other, like, oh man, and like he was obviously like he wasn't mad, like he like threw his arms up, like what the heck, and then
He was probably like, what the hell, dude? Nobody's went over here all day, and the second I stand here, Bubba goes over here.
I was doing it a few laps before that. So
film guy, yeah. And then Logan, like I'm trying to like burn up the gimbal out there, and I like totally walked into your line. Julie's like, Ryan, watch out, and I turned around. It's like, I thought you were gonna clip my shoulder.
No.
It felt that close to me.
When I was riding it, didn't feel it sketchy even a little bit?
Yeah,
like you were close, but like I was like, didn't trust it even.
I have a whole lot of trust out there. I was just like running next to Bubba. Julie's got a video of it too. Yeah, dude, anything for the shot.
She has a video of that?
She has a video of me like chasing you guys around a corner.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you said where I almost hit you.
No, I think she's pulling it up right now. No, I don't know if she's got that, but I was running around. I haven't even seen it yet.
This.
I'll have to put this up on the video that everybody's watching so they can see it. And I know you blow by me, but that is like full speed right there. Like, dude, I'm running full speed. Like, I was like, I hope I don't blow my knee
His heart rate might have been higher than ours in our moto.
Yeah, how many steps you get in today?
I don't know. I don't have a step counter. A lot.
Man.
A lot. Yeah, a lot. I was sweating. I had to take my Double Eagle sweatshirt off. I was like, man, wasn't ready for this today. So I haven't looked at the footage yet. I hope it was worth it. So I know Teddy's footage is good though. It should be a pretty good edit.
Sweet.
But,
yeah. I have one more sketchy moment. What was it? There was a rut out of a 90-degree corner, and we were kind of like, it developed a pretty big bump in it, and I was like pre-jumping the rut when it first started developing, and I didn't quite get it one time, and I thought I was off the ground, and my rear tire hooked up on the top of the jump, and I thought I'd already lifted all the way, and I just had enough traction on the tip of the jump, and it like I was still in the throttle, and the bike kind of started coming out from underneath me, and that would have been a full loop out moment if I would have been a little bit further on the edge of the power on that one. But yeah, other than that, it's a good day.
Yeah. All right. So what did you expect when I went out to ride, Logan? Now, Bubba, I'll ask him too, but Bubba's seen me ride a little bit earlier this year. So
yeah, I really had no idea, but I mean, saying you used to race pro and stuff, I mean, I assumed you at least knew what you were doing out there, but no, I was impressed. You were like, you rode smooth. You didn't do anything like out of control. You were like totally in control. And
I was nervous as shit.
I was impressed.
Yeah.
You were?
I was like, man, I'm going to have to call his wife and have him come pick him up because I'm not taking him home.
I was thinking you were going to pull that big to big.
I do.
Towards the end. Because like, I felt like you were like speed checking it a little bit. I was like, oh boy.
It crossed my mind a few times. So then I was like, a foreign bike. Like, yeah. I've got like 8 laps on these bikes now. Like,
well, you rode each of our bikes. You rode my bike and then you rode his bike. So
yeah. No,
changing it up too.
I'll talk a little bit about that, but yeah, it's I haven't rode a Supercross since I think like 2007, and I rode the last time I even
You're
rode.
You're pretty old then, huh?
34.
Holy smokes.
34. We were like, apparently there's the PDF archives that go all the way back to Supercross. I just found this out like 2 days ago.
Told you.
And I didn't even know, like I knew like Loretta's and stuff. You can go back and look. I mean, of course, like I'm not like super happy about my results back then, but also we didn't have time qualifying. Like you went out for one practice and then you had to like race a qualifying race to make the night show. And then there was a consolation. They didn't call it an LCQ because the LCQ saved for the night show. And yeah, dude, it was tough. Like, I mean,
so you just weren't really a racer. You were like I want to throw it on a fast lap kind of guy.
Yeah, it was so hard. I was a terrible starter. I just couldn't get off the gate, man, ever. Like I was like I was delayed. I don't know, but it was tough. Like, I mean, not to have any excuses. I just didn't have enough talent, man. But it was fun. I didn't know what to expect either. I was scared too, Bubba. Today, I was scared. I was like, I'm gonna ride the Supercross track. I think you thought I was gonna go out on the motocross track.
Yeah, you wanted to straight to the Supercross track.
I didn't even touch the motocross track. I was like, I can ride a motocross track anytime. Like, I can't go down here.
Yeah, but you can't ride the Double Eagle motocross track. You got to get it all, man.
I can go back next summer. The Supercross track won't be like it'll be like
next summer, man. That's a long time away,
dude. Like I said, I rode in May. That's
the track's going to be different when you come out here next time. So we change that motocross track up all the time, always adding stuff and different stuff. So. And what if the layout's not as good next time? Nah, just kidding. It always gets better.
Dude, Logan, no, that big to big, though. Gosh, I wanted to do it.
You probably could have done it.
At
But,
least I
like,
did the triple, but it's not like a
Yeah.
legit. It's close. It's close to legit.
dude,
triple.
It's
you even
legit
started
length.
throwing a little style over it towards the end of
Did
the
you?
day.
Did you? I was
Yeah,
kind of
like you were like absorbing it,
soaking
and I
up
was
a little
like,
bit.
shit, he's getting comfortable out
Soaking it
there.
up. Yeah, I did prefer your bike today over Bubba's, but Bubba's is a little stiffer, you know. And I'm heavier than both of you guys. I'm just not used to that stiff and rigid of a bike. So like for me, it was just like I felt a little bit more through my hands and stuff, and the bars were a little further back than I like. Yours were a little too far rotated forward. But, you know, obviously running the Phoenix handlebars, which I ran those earlier this year for the first time and loved them. Like, so the bars were great. It was just the positioning of the bars and where they were. I just needed to probably play around with them. And then obviously I'm just not used to running on suspension that's that
So
stiff.
you got arm pump on both bikes.
Yeah, arm pump was there. I realized that I couldn't breathe, and I figured out that I wasn't breathing. I think I did 3 laps, and I didn't even take a breath. So
People think like who aren't like affiliated with motocross riding like breathe on the pit board is like the dumbest thing ever. But like when you're in the moment, like dude, that I mean honestly, that's the last thing you're thinking about, dude. Like I'm thinking about trying to pass that dude in front of me. I'm not thinking about breathing. And then like after a couple laps, you're like, holy crap! Like I forgot to breathe like for the past 2 laps.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about you, but for me, it's like if I were to see the word exhale on the pit board, that would make more sense. Like I'm always sucking air in and just holding it in. It's like when you
I
get
was
tight,
sucking it in. That's for
it's
sure.
like you're not getting it out.
Yeah,
it's
you are.
like, man, you gotta.
It's like a sound clip. I need to take that. Yeah, your XL, I guess. Yeah, that's a little bit bigger of a word to write on the pit. Well, no, not really. It's
No,
kinda the
man.
same. Yeah.
It's actually easier to spell.
What if I
so
start
many
writing
people screw
paragraphs
up
on your
with it?
pit
They
board this
put
year?
breath and they put breathe.
That's
Breath,
true.
breath. What?
Breath?
Breathe? I don't know. You see that all the time. Mechanics are stupid sometimes, man.
Yeah.
But not ours. We got a good mechanic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will talk about. Yeah, we got. You're not talking about me.
No.
You were looking at me. I was like, wait a
No.
second. Are you trying to give me some kudos?
No,
right
we
now?
got a good guy.
No,
He's
we got a
really-
good mechanic coming.
Yeah.
Talk about him, but yeah, no, I appreciate letting me ride the bike, and it was fun. I gotta say, like I was ready to ride today, and I was like, I'm gonna try this, and I don't know, that triple at first like had me hung up. It wasn't the triple, it was the double before it. You guys, like, of course I go out like at the end of the day, you guys have like tore the track up. Like you got one groove in there. We just talked about it. It's like 28 inches wide, and everything else is like marbly and hard at this point because it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I just like couldn't get over this little double that you could do on a pit bike, and it was messing me up, but I got it.
You
So,
figured it out.
Man, that's the
proud of
thing
you.
with Supercross. Everybody, they look at the stuff in the stands on TV and they're like, oh, I could do that jump. That's easy.
yeah. There's so many other variables.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, even me as like a decent rider, like I still like if I knew I couldn't jump the jump, like I'm not going to go out there and just like fall off the back of the motorcycle, twist the throttle and like, get slingshot in the air. Like I know where my boundaries are, but like, you're totally right. Like I was sitting there watching you guys and I'm like, I'm going to ride today. And I was like, I could probably 3-3. Like I could probably jump big to big, like and go, maybe not 3-3, but like I'm going to triple today. And you get out there and you're like, nope. Every time I tried like even to remotely try to think about it and I'd hit the double, I'd get crossroaded. I was like, no, there's no way. Like I can barely even double through here.
Yeah.
But you're totally right though. Like just a small little double out of the corner messed you up for messed me up for the triple, right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't the triple I was having a problem with. It was the double before it that's literally like a 20-foot double right out of the corner that just was causing me an issue. I mean, obviously I got it, like, I mean, within a couple laps, but it was still just like messes with you in your head. So I guess maybe talk a little bit about that. Like what are there obstacles out there that tend to kind of like play in your head a little bit more than others?
Oh, man. I'll go first on this. But, man, when I first started riding Supercross, there was so many obstacles that I thought I was good at. And I went to the races and I was like, man, not happening. Like the on-offs, it's like you go to the races and they're way more gnarly than the practice tracks ever were. Dragon's backs, they would just haunt me forever. And so, having a track and some equipment at home, I just went home and just started building everything I sucked at, I turned my weaknesses into my strengths. Now it's like, I love Dragon's backs. I always look at opportunities every time I'm on them. But, first year or two of Supercross, I was just terrified of them. I always, didn't matter who was behind me. I'd be the last place guy on the track first couple of years and I'd get passed. It's like by the KTM junior guy. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I was so bad at them. So, that's one thing I always look at. It's like, where's my weakness? How can I get better at it? And, having the opportunity to do that at home is, it's pretty cool. So like for my track and, I think we talked about it a little bit last time and even the track here, it's like try to put so many different obstacles and variables and different line rhythms and stuff you can pack in there. just to where, you know, it's like like I said earlier, you know, add it to your toolbox. You know, when you go to the races, you got to dig out some tools and see what you can work with.
Yeah. What about you, Logan? Is there any? I mean, you're kind of wide-eyed on the Camelback. Like I always hated those. They had them back in like 2006 when I was racing. I coming off of those things. Like, do they still like? I haven't seen them in a while. Like they used to build them. Like they used to have about 4 or 5 up, and then you would jump a gap up over another one, and sometimes you would downside another Camelback. Like
You don't really see that much anymore.
Yeah.
Every once
like,
in a while
I
they
couldn't
will,
do
but
those. Like I was just like I would fall down in the bottom of them, or I'd case. Like I'd just be all squirrely. Like that's when my times were shit. Like I just couldn't do stuff like that. To Bubba's point, though, I never practiced them. And, you know.
I don't like Dragon's backs at all. Like I would say I'm pretty good at them, but like I don't like them. Like I don't know how you can like a Dragon's back. They're freaking really sketchy. Every time you come up to them, like you're puckering, but
well, you're taller and longer too. Yeah. Like I mean, like for you,
I should be good at them, but I'm still a little scared of them. I think everybody is. And same with like the over under bridges. Like over under bridges, so like sketchy. They're so like on TV they just look like just an easy little jump, but like when you're riding it and walking the track, like you clip an over under, like you're dropping the flat
St.
or
Louis.
like going OTB, like
252 stroke. I did it. Went down.
Looped out on it.
No OTB.
oh no, like not OTB. I wheel spin off the face of the finish line.
Oh boy.
252 stroke. I'm sideways coming off of it like this, and I don't clear it. I land right at the edge, like you said, and it literally high sides me all the way down. I ripped my entire right side of the motorcycle completely ripped off the handlebars. Wow. Throttle tube and everything.
Did they pick you up in a hearse after that one?
I got up because I was embarrassed. I was like one of the last bikes. It was like the
How'd
end
you
of the,
get
end of
up?
The, it was in the. I survived it, obviously. I got up and like my bike stuck wide open. I was one of the last ones like out there because it was one of the last practice sessions, and I was trying to figure out this one section. So I saw the checkered roll out, and like that was back when you could kind of like jack around to like be like the last person out there. Now they kind of like don't let you stop on the track. Like I wasn't stopping the track, but I was like, oh, I'm gonna try this section one more time, and I did it. I think I did it, and I was like, okay, cool. So I came around the finish line, and I wheel spin off of it. Maybe I was trying to whip it. I don't know.
It was at the checkered flag?
At the checkered flag.
Dude,
last
that's
freaking
bad.
Bike. Last freaking bike. And so it's bad enough that I'm sure, like, hopefully everybody went to go get a hot dog at that point.
Yeah.
But I high side down it, and my bike, they ripped the throttle tube off, so they pulled the cable, but the cable was still attached. So my bike's on the ground, wide open, like the echo in the stadium, and I'm like
only bike on the track, just bouncing off the limiter.
252 stroke.
Man, that even made Julie laugh over there.
Oh man, like my dad was so pissed. He was like, "You tried to whip it," and I was like, "Dude, I didn't." I was like, "I took 252 stroke in Supercross, like a thing that spun right off Salt, or it was, I think it was St. Louis." Yeah, but anyways, embarrassing story.
You probably didn't spin in St. Louis. You probably cross-redded.
He probably knew he had so many fans in the stadium that he just tried tossing it and just got squirrely.
Yeah, like watch this, guys. And has anybody ever ripped their throttle tube off? Nah, on an over-under. But anyways, thanks for bringing up that sensitive subject there. No one knows that story. They probably forgot about it, but now
I shouldn't have brought up the over-under thing.
I hope AMA doesn't have like an archived video.
No, that video is going to come up on MX Fails in the next couple weeks.
I'm going to go through there and be like, ooh. Yeah.
One time at East Rutherford, I think it was like 2015 or 2016, the dirt was so soft that year. I clipped the over under and I actually almost came to a stop. My bike stalled. And I like just kind of like bounced down the landing and like bump started my bike.
Oh geez, that's a long way to fall, man. Like even if you come up short, like if you even don't crash on it, but if like you come up short and you bounce off of that into the flat, like it's like it's like you might as well like Robbie Madison jumping off the Vegas building, like landing in the flat. Like that's what it felt like.
But dude, speaking of over unders in Vegas, oh my gosh, every year they put the over under finish, but like the Vegas dirt's like concrete.
Yeah, terrible.
I don't like that. Like it's, especially if you come at it with a lot of speed and you have to like time it, kind of weird. And then I think there was, might have been 2 years ago, they prepped it for the night show. You remember that? And
they made the face flat.
They flat, so you come around the first lap of the heat race.
Yep.
In that jump, you got a bunch of lift off all day, and you could downside it like relatively easy. Now it's like a flat face. And you got no lift. In the first lap, I remember just like double wheel clipping the landing straight to fly. I think there's a whoop section after it.
Yeah, 2 whoop sections.
Dude, talk about puckered up. Like, that's bad. That's one thing I can't stand is when they change something for the heat race that make it, and you don't know. Like, you're just going out. You can't, not that you can even see it if you're in the pack.
Yeah. Is that the same? No, that's not the same round. There was a round a couple years ago where they had a rhythm section that had an over-under in it. Do you remember that? Were you guys racing then? Or is that many years ago, before your time? There was a time when there was a rhythm section. Like it was
St.
like
Louis when Travis Pastrana designed it.
Maybe that's what it was.
That like hip kind of sort of
I
thing.
don't remember. I just remember there was a time where someone was jumping on-off on an over-under.
I don't think since we went pro.
I think I did one where there was an on-off.
It was crazy. I know I wasn't racing, but I remember seeing it and I was like, holy crap, like you're jumping off of that.
Yeah.
I don't think it was meant to jump off. It was supposed to be a jump over and then start the rhythm. But a couple people were like coming to the inside and not clearing the whole over under. They were jumping on it and then like bouncing off of it up over the single to change up the rhythm lane. I think it was like, I feel like Barsha was doing it or something. It was something crazy.
Wasn't there one where Cole Seeley crashed off the side of it? I think they were going on off on that, like Detroit or something. I think that was before we started racing, though.
I can't remember.
Maybe, I don't know. Oh, well, somebody will pull it up.
Yeah, I didn't study up on my tracks. It's just something I thought about. Sorry.
Yeah, I remember every track I've ever raced on, but if I didn't race it, I don't remember it.
Yeah, every track. That's all.
Pretty close. Michael Kiden thinks I'm like an encyclopedia.
I think
Michael Kiden is?
Yeah.
Michael is?
No, he thinks I'm an encyclopedia because like I'll remember like over like the last 6 years, like every track, where it was, the layout, like how the ruts were, which lines I was doing. Like it's crazy. You embed that stuff in your mind throughout the day, like just to memorize the track. So good.
Yeah.
Subconsciously, that stuff's always there. It's crazy.
Yeah. I have a terrible memory. Maybe I've hit my head too many times. I don't remember hardly any of the tracks. Like I remember the facilities, like the venues. I remember some of the tracks. Like I remember Dallas. Like when we were talking about Dallas, like I rode there one of the first years that they had like that little open roof. Like it had just like a little hole up there, and the light would come down through. But there's just I don't remember a whole.
Well, it's been like 30 years since you raced, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think 41 years ago. Gosh, dude, a 2v2 stroke in Supercross. Just take one out.
That's what I hear.
Just take one out. Try it.
No.
Ronnie Ford did it like 2 years ago, so don't try to sound tough right now.
No, I'm not. I'm saying like I was not tough because I was on a 2v2 stroke. It was stupid. Should never. That was back when you could run in both classes too. I was telling you that the other night. I could ride the lights class and then the. Yeah.
I wonder how many people would do that nowadays.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't either.
I'd
probably do it.
I couldn't do it today. I barely did like 4 laps.
Yeah.
So.
You used to be able to ride both coasts, right? And then only sign up for the points in the one, right?
That.
I thought it was if you scored so many points in one coast, you could not run the other coast.
Oh, I thought it was you could
switch coasts. That's what it was. You could start in one, and if you weren't doing well enough and you didn't point out of a certain amount of points, you could switch and say, "Never mind, I'm going east." I remember that.
I don't know. I don't know the rule book. I know nothing about it.
Yeah.
I know we can jump on yellow, not red cross, so that's all that matters.
Yeah.
The checkered flag. I haven't seen the black flag, so it's good. We'll keep it that way.
Yeah. Don't want to see that one. All right. Well, so I kind of breezed past this on the last episode, and I apologize for that. But so your expectations and goals for this season, Bubba, Logan kind of talked about it a little bit here at the earlier part of our podcast here, but he kind of trusts you with your program and what you're doing, so he's kind of mimicking it. What you talked a little bit about what you work on and when you go to the track and what you're kind of imitating these race like scenarios though. So like, what's your expectation now, being that first of all, you Supercross, the time that you finish Supercross this season to the time you're starting back up, that window's a little shorter than what it typically is because of COVID. You also didn't really race in Europe like you did in years past. So maybe being in that race pace during this kind of off season, if you will, you haven't really had that as you have in the years past. So what's like your goals and expectations as you're coming into round one, and what maybe do you think they would be at the end of the season, or is it you kind of have the same goal in mind from literally round 1 to round 17?
Yeah, I mean, I'm the type of guy, like I write my goals down. I study my goals and, year to year, see where I was at. It's crazy a handful of years ago what your goals were and what you actually achieve, sometimes it's a little bit delayed, but you're still achieving those goals, but definitely, that's what keeps you going. So, for myself this year, I've made, multiple main events in the 450 class, some at the beginning of the year, some at the end, some Triple Crown, a little bit of variety. So, I mean, the goal is just be consistently in there. It's not, that's not easy, but, it's the best guys in the world. So we're going out and, just trying to push ourselves to elevate our program, elevate ourselves, elevate our confidence so we can do that. So definitely be consistent in the main events, for myself. And, with our lineup this year as a team, obviously, we've done it, hit every race, keep the full roster, try to keep everybody healthy. But, I really believe that we can have, hopefully a couple nights, if not at least one, where we're all 3 riders in the main event on the same night. Without a doubt that, all of us are going to be in the main events throughout the season. But, to take a small budget program and, to just make sure everybody's really working together, being efficient, and land us all in the main event on the same night, I think would be really special. That would be probably a pretty emotional night for me, just building the program up and to make it to that point. So, that's a big thing that I really believe can happen. We just had to be in the right place at the right time, take advantage of every opportunity we can.
Yeah, that's good. And obviously last episode we talked kind of about your goals too, Logan. So, I guess, and we hit on this a little bit for like Joan, but you obviously I can ask him because he's not here right now, but I'm curious to ask you this question, Bubba, because I feel like it's appropriate to do it, but as an owner of the team, like what would be your expectation of Joan? I mean, he hasn't raced Supercross since March. He wasn't able to come back, but like as an owner, I mean, you talked about making main events, but like, there's a lot of different things for him coming into this, right? I mean, he hasn't raced the consecutive rounds back to back like this before, so there's that different. But like, what's those expectations as an owner for like Joan? Like, what do you feel like?
So a lot of people don't realize, but in Europe, their wintertime Supercross championships, they often race Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 3 nights in a row. So, and Joan's been doing that for a long time. He's raced all over the world, just about every continent, I think, except Antarctica. So, he's done the MXGP series. He's done different Supercross championships all the way around. He's 4-time Spanish Supercross champion, 1-time Spanish motocross champion. Rode for some really good teams, even on the factory level in the past. So he's definitely no slouch. I think this year was really good for him. Like I said, I was supposed to go over there and race with them this summer on their team, but obviously that didn't happen. But so knowing what he's been doing this year is different than what he's done in a long time, because the last few years, and I've been the same way, it's been race all year round. I mean, the last 2 years I did 42 and 43 races around the world. So that's just not 40 races here in the U.S. That's all over the place. So there's a lot that goes into that, just mentally and physically. And so for him and myself to both have that break, and not just, say, oh, hey, we took a break. It's like, no, we're going to go back and build our base up and really create a good foundation here. So that's really important. Without a doubt, Joan's a fighter. I can't, there's not a lot of people you can really truly say that about, that look them in the eye when it's game time and training time. And, they're there for one reason and one reason only. He's coming to the United States for one reason only, and that's to race AMA Supercross and to be a main event guy. And, so without a doubt, he can be a main event guy. He's got the speed. I think this year he's going to have even more fitness. So just gotta, like I said, be in the right place at the right time, take advantage of every opportunity. And I believe, he'll get that done. Yeah.
And one of the other things too, that you kind of told me this today, I didn't really know that. But typically back at home, he has his own kind of like family team and they run Yamahas. But this season, during the off season this summer, he chose to ride a Kawasaki, at least for kind of some of the riding he's been doing lately, right? Which is obviously we're on Kawasaki 450s here, but he last season he spent a lot of time riding the Yamaha. So when he came over on the Cowie, there was some adjustments there, right? I was at A1 and he was working through some of those things. He got here a little later, into the country a little later than I think we all probably would have hoped for. But yeah, so I mean, obviously he's taken the step to take advantage of riding the Cowie because instead of riding the Yamaha, and that says a lot about his commitment to try to check all the boxes to make sure that he comes here and says, like, I've done everything I can to be prepared.
Yeah. It's it's cool because he gets support directly from Yamaha Europe and for the Supercross program that they do over there, and for him to essentially went out and bought a bike, which is something that he's not used to doing. So
bikes aren't cheap.
He did that just to get prepared. The last couple of months he's been riding that bike and developing some different products and stuff. The Nunne exhaust company that we're running, they're based out of Barcelona, Spain. He works directly with that company, and a lot of people in the United States aren't familiar with them because they don't actually sell their product in the US, but it's great product. They supply us with our exhaust, and he does a lot of development with that. He's a really good test rider. He was telling me they tried like 8 different exhausts, and where every one was a little bit better than the other. He's like, this one works good on the starts, but it's not as good in the whoops. Hey, we need to find a middle ground here. So he did a lot of development with that for them, and each year, that product's been getting better and better and better. And and a lot of that for these Kawasaki bikes that we're running here is, it's due to him. So he's, the guys in the workshop are doing a lot of work. They're putting a lot into it, and he's doing a lot of testing, and he gives really good feedback.
Yeah, that's good. Logan, you got getting your 250 ready. You've been riding the 450 a little bit. Like, what's some things that you've been working on really, like with the bike setup for you? Like, what are some things that you really hone in on? Like Bubba talked about, the exhaust for the 450s and having, kind of been integrated in the team last season, knowing that, kind of what we do to our bikes. And when you're on a 450, you don't really have to do a whole lot. But for you as a 250 rider, like what are some things that you kind of really tweak on your bike to really kind of customize it for you? And then just, talk about the differences there, I guess. Because you are going to ride the 450 in the East rounds this season, right?
Yeah. The first 6 rounds are East, so I'm going to be on a 450. So not in like a super big rush to get the 250 going right now. But the 250 should be done actually by the end of the week. So I'm probably going to have to drive up there and go pick it up hopefully within the next few days. Tom's on to do my motor, so I'm super pumped on that. I've heard like nothing but good things about him. I've never ran any of his stuff before, but I have a bunch of friends that run like his motors and suspension and everything, and he's a really smart guy, and I'm pumped to be with him. So that'll be cool to have a strong motor this year, and it'll be cool to have like some really good suspension too. I ran TCD suspension back in 2019, and Bubba was cool enough to let me run kind of who I want for motor and who I want for suspension, which is huge. And TCD, they absolutely crushed my suspension that I'm running right now. I love it. It feels so good. Like I'm getting my confidence back, like hitting the whoops, and confidence kind of starting to kind of hit some of the bigger rhythms. That's kind of something I always kind of struggled with in the past. So I'm pumped, man. It's gonna be exciting getting back on a really, really good bike. I'm pumped.
Yeah. I had a question. I just forgot it. I don't know. Sorry. So one of my other questions is like benchmarking yourself against like a rider, like, but this is for both of you guys. Like, you talked about your goals, I guess, already, right? Like, so we don't really necessarily like, I don't want to ooze back into that topic, but like, do you have like a benchmark of a rider that you kind of like peg yourself against, coming into a season? It's kind of like, I don't know. I maybe your mindset doesn't work that way. Like I'm not in it anymore, but maybe I'm asking a silly question, but I kind of feel like I know your answers. Like you block that stuff out. You probably won't really do that. But like Logan, maybe more for you, but both your answers, like, do you kind of have benchmark yourself against somebody, and especially with some new up and coming riders coming in, like, do you have goals into the 450 class at least? Do you have goals? And I guess there's some young talent coming to the 250 class as well, but do you kind of have those goals of kind of benchmarking yourself against another rider? And if so, who is that person?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for the past few years, it seems like the guys are around like 12 to 15 are, guys like Martin Costello, like Wageman and like Carson Brown. Like, so like guys like that who I'm just like a tick off of, that I feel like if I just get that extra little bit, I can be right there with those guys and be a consistent, like, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15th place guy. So yeah, every time I go out there, I'm kind of seeing where I am based against those guys, because I'm always just a little bit off of those guys. So I think that's a good goal to try to up my pace and be right there with those guys this year.
But what about you?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of told me, it's
I kind of know you a little bit.
It's not easy, man, to just block that out. I mean, obviously, there's certain guys that, maybe you don't have the most respect for, you don't want to be faster than you, but everybody's trying, everybody's professional. So, really try to focus on yourself and get to a point with your training to where you're monitoring your own progress, and where that develops over the years. And, if you can just be better than yourself, each day, each week, each month, each year, you're going to make progress. It's one of those things, if you could be 1% better in every little area, that's going to be huge. And, unfortunately, sometimes you might get 1% better in a lot of areas, but, other people are doing that too. So you gotta be strong, but, one thing that kind of popped in my head, which we're lucky enough to not go to California this year for the races, but Logan mentioned a couple guys, and you know, I don't know about you, but you see those guys at the practice track sometimes, and there's some practice track champions. Not to say those guys are,
I am not that guy.
Me neither, man.
There's guys that will wax me at any practice track, but then we'll go to the race, and like in my head, I'll be like, well, I know I'm going to beat him at the race.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool not being in California for that aspect of it, because we're just kind of focusing on ourselves here, and you don't have that, sometimes, I mean, it gets under your skin, even if you're trying to block it out, but sometimes guys are just, they're on fire at the practice tracks and they're really good at it, but you got to know how to go racing in the race situations and the environment, and you got to have the mindset to race. You got to have, got to be a little smarter, a little more patient at the races, and not everybody knows how to do that. It's a completely different ball game when you get in a stadium. So, I like to think of myself as a guy that's more like that too. It's like, I'm not necessarily going to light the world on fire compared to, some guys at the practice track, but we go to the races, and, I believe, I know what it takes to perform in that environment.
What about, just kind of randomly thought about this, like talk a little bit about, so like today, I guess I have this question because I rode today. So like I was asking you guys about your gearing on the bike, and obviously you're both on the 450s today, and I rode both of them. So I was making sure like the gearing was the same. So I didn't just go out there and expect, the bike to, Bubba's or Logan, your bike to be kind of the same as Bubba's. And it was a little bit different gearing, but not much. But like talk about, like, for people who don't obviously ride a Supercross track and never ridden a Supercross track, what gear are you guys running the track in most weekends? I mean, there's different obstacles, but for the most part, most tracks are pretty similar. But like, I mean, how often are you, Bubba, I guess I'll start with you with that, because you ride the 450 more often than Logan does. But what kind of walk me through like how you're running, like what gear through the track?
Yeah.
Like, how many times are you shifting? I mean, obviously most people know that we shift up in the whoops, but like talk us through that, I guess.
Yeah. Most of the time, I mean, on a 450, we're running second gear all the way around the track, with the exception of start straight and the whoops, click third, sometimes fourth, but not too often. I've been getting more comfortable running first gear in some spots. That's something I used to not like to do at all. Just practicing and putting that in my toolbox. I mean, you need to go in first gear in some areas. You got to do it to get the bike to pull hard and quick out of some of these really tight corners where you almost come into a stop to be able to do the obstacle. So,
have you hit a triple in first?
Yeah. 450 will get over a 70-foot triple in first gear.
Yeah.
You got to be in it a little bit harder. Salt Lake City. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But that's elevation, so the bike's slower anyway. But yeah, if you're watching the 250 practice, when a guy hits the triple in first gear.
Oh yeah, you ain't making it.
Yeah,
for
it's
the
a
most
motor
part.
air wide open, and you see him case it. But yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised how much power and torque that the 450s have to be able to jump a 70-foot triple from a dead stop with a 20-foot run in first gear. Like,
yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah,
but for the most part, I mean, some tracks, I've been to races where I don't even touch third gear. I don't touch first or third. You legitimately run second gear all the way around the track. And that's more of a kind of a East Coast, real tacky dirt type of thing.
Even in the whoops, huh? You're not clicking up or anything there?
Yeah, I mean, the rope section get real rutted out or something.
That's
more
true.
like an Indy style track. I think it was Indy, maybe Atlanta, where I've run second gear, didn't shift at all whole weekend. Like this off the start, that was it. But I think they had like a short section across the start straight or something where we didn't actually get going that fast. So yeah, if I'm riding motocross, I could not tell you what gear I'm in on the bike.
Yeah, I don't have a track on motocross. Yeah,
and it's super. I mean, I'll like be working with like some younger kids, like 10-year-olds, and they're on 65s, and they'll tell me exactly what gear they're in all the way around. I'm like, I have no idea what gear I'm in.
I think when you get in a 450 and you're riding an outdoor track, like it's, I mean, I don't
just
know.
shift up and go.
Yeah, you don't really. Keep
But on
track of it.
Supercross, I could tell you exactly what gear I'm in all the way around.
Yeah, it's a lot to keep track of.
Yeah.
But yeah, what about you, Logan, with the 250? As far as like shifting, I mean, you find yourself, do you gear your bike differently to try to prevent shifting all the time? Like, I mean, I don't know. What's that like?
I feel like for the most part, everybody runs like a 52 for the most part, 250 or 450. I've always ran like a 50 or 51. I don't know why, because I like not having to rev my bike super hard. So I like being able to run second gear and not be bouncing off the rev limiter in a rhythm section. But it does kind of have its not great spots, like kind of like a 3 out of a turn is kind of when you would want like a 52 on there. But Yeah, for the most part, I just run a 50, 51 maybe. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Just 51 pretty much for the
Just
most
close
part
your
for me.
eyes and go.
Right. What?
You just close your eyes and go.
Pretty much. But I mean, for the rest of the track, second gear I run for the most part, but then like third in the whoops on a 250. I've actually been hitting the whoops in second on the 450, not really having a problem, like not really bouncing off the rev limiter or nothing. But yeah, second and third for the most part on a 250.
Yeah. Well, we're getting close to an hour here, and that's kind of what our goal is for these to not go extremely long. I know that said we were going to do a Would You Rather segment, so hopefully you guys have some of those questions too. But we don't have the best of service today, so we were trying to like get some questions from people, and we just couldn't really get text messages up here, and Instagram social wasn't really working. So we came up with a couple, but I think something in the future that we probably need to pull some of the people listening to kind of see what comes forward. I'm sure that a lot of them probably wouldn't be able to be repeated on here, but maybe we get a few of them where we can.
I made a poll on my Instagram today, and about 90% of them we probably shouldn't put on air.
Yeah,
that's all Logan's fans, man. I don't know where he gets these people.
I got the bad people that follow me, I guess.
There's like I think there's a segment on the Pulp Show that's like at the end, it's like after hours or something like that.
Kiefer After Dark.
After Dark, yes.
That's some good shit.
Yeah,
I love that stuff.
That's kind of like the separation between like the normal podcasting where it gets a little bit more raunchier during. Yeah. So maybe we could have a after session on the Would You Rathers, but I don't know, like maybe before we go there, because we'll wrap the show up with that, but is there, I don't know, any other topics you guys kind of want to hit on for episode 2? I think as we go, we're going to have more. Obviously, as the season starts, we're certainly going to have a lot more to talk about. But I mean, it doesn't have to be moto. I mean, we can talk about anything, but
yeah. I mean, we didn't mention our full-time mechanic coming in this year.
Yeah.
Phil. He's coming in from Quebec City, Canada. So we'll have a couple U.S. guys, Canadian guy on the wrenches and driving, and Spanish guy on the other bike. So we'll have full international flair here. Normally Joan brings some other European buddies and stuff over. So, but probably not this year. So, but it'd be cool. We'll have a good Spanish speaking guy, French speaking guy, and us U.S. guys that don't know any other language.
Couple hillbilly guys too, right?
Yeah, what y'all talking about?
Yeah. Well, okay, maybe we'll hit on that just for a few minutes because we got a few more minutes here. But with Phil, Phil's coming over as a full-time mechanic for the team. Last year, we didn't really employ a full-time mechanic, but we had consistent mechanics that would be there, for the West Coast rounds, the California rounds. Indy, St. Louis, those are easy rounds to fill. Tampa gets a little harder, in Daytona, but I think for the most part this last season we had regular people there that we were pretty familiar with. So obviously it's not ideal, but we're a smaller team, and to try to employ 3 full-time mechanics for 17 weeks is tough. So it's a little different. So this year, obviously, we've been fortunate enough to bring on Phil as a full-time mechanic. So you talked a little bit about maybe, Joan might have someone there, in the past he has. But like, how are you going to, I guess, support the other 2 riders? Like how does that work, right? Like what's the plan there, and kind of the operation of the team behind the scenes, what people won't really get to see? Maybe talk a little bit about the team structure, even if you will.
Yeah, so that's something we've kind of played around with year to year. 2019, Jason Watkins was our full-time mechanic, driver, and he did really good work. And we had the other couple mechanics. We kind of had an East Coast guy, West Coast guy that were consistently there. So everybody was used to each other, but, it was just kind of a, come help us out for the day, and, we'll try to compensate you the best we can. And there's some other people that, try to offer them some cash for their days of work or 2 days of work. And, they just simply like helping us out. So, that's good because it makes our budget go a little bit longer. And, I got some really good people that help us out. Actually, Michael Mathis was another one last year that was consistently at some races. And, man, I try to give that guy, hey, here's $100 for the day, whatever, and he's no. So
yeah, he's a good dude.
He's a really good guy. He helped us out a lot of races last year. So,
that's right.
But yeah, we had Jake Helm. He was out on the West Coast. He was at, I think, almost every West Coast race also. He's really good guy. You can count on that guy for just about, he'll do anything, anywhere, anytime. he's going to be there. He's going to work his hardest. Good laid back attitude, but when it's time to work, it's time to work, straight to the point, nice and serious. So I like that. That's pretty much, you get the best of both worlds with that. But yeah, this year we're structuring stuff a little bit different. Taking some budget from some other areas, putting it back into a full-time guy. And this year with the COVID restrictions at the races, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to have
those subs.
Yeah. Kind of having people come and go. So we definitely need, at least one full-time guy. We might, by the time the season actually gets started, might have another guy. But Phil's got some experience. Last year was his first year. But a big thing that stood out to me, he approached me and he saw us working, and, he saw the structure and the dedication and the organization with the team and the effort that we put in. And, he straight up was just straight to the point. He told me that. He said it'd be his dream to come work for a Supercross team with that and just to build off of that. And I was like, man, I don't, that goes before anything else. Somebody that sees those things and really appreciates that piece of it, goes a long way. So I was like, man, we'll keep talking and see what we can come up with and work out a deal. And, here we're about mid-December, and he's set to come, he'll be with us for about a month before the season starts, kind of get familiar with how we do everything, kind of get him up to speed. So he's not just walking into the race and saying, hey, let's go. So a lot of teams do that, and that's difficult. You're asking for trouble at that point. So I'm excited. It'll be good. And we'll, like I said, he'll be with us driving and mechanicking and helping out. And, our race day mechanics, we're not rebuilding engines and that type of thing. So, somebody that's got a good head on their shoulders and wants to see the riders progress and keep a positive attitude and, can, get parts on and off the bike and make sure we're ready to go is most important. So like I said, we'll be training with him and get him up to speed with everything, and we'll be ready to rock and roll, maybe with another, maybe at least a part-time guy or something that can be at all the races. Got to yet figure that part out, but Phil will be here soon, and I'm excited.
Yeah, that's awesome. What's to kind of hang on this topic just for a few, what's like one thing that you probably are both different? And Logan, I obviously haven't worked with you yet since you're new to the team this year, but kind of seeing, Joan and Bubba last season. But Bubba, like, what are some things that like are must-haves like with your mechanic, or just like that they like just have to know? Like, is it the adjustments you got to make like inside of like qualifying or something, or is it just like how the bag is built, like that they have, spare goggles? Like, is there just like one thing in particular like you're really like anal about, I guess, that like is always an expectation for both of you? But
for me, not really. No. I'm so laid back. I mean, I'm just go with the flow. As long as the dude I'm with knows what he's doing for the most part. I trust what he's doing on the bike, and just kind of keeps him in a good mood. We're having fun, laughing up on the start gate. Like that's my jam.
Yeah. For me, like I said, it's important for somebody to know when to be serious, when to have fun. If it's time to be serious and somebody is, not doing that, then, sometimes it's irritating. But
would you say like someone trying to amp you up? Is that like are you saying that's not serious, or someone who's just not like present?
Yeah, just they're being like cool, calm, collected, like I'm not necessarily a big fan of somebody trying to get amped up. Just stay positive and stay relaxed.
Oh, shoot. So last year when I was doing that too? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, don't do that. No. High five coming off the track when, make main event or something. That's great. But, the whole, get amped type of thing. I'm not big on that. I just like to stay, calm, relax, focus, and, give me my water bottle, make sure we're ready to go, be efficient with the pit board. And, like I said, get back, between the times, at the pits, we can crack some jokes or whatever. But, if something's not going right, maybe we lay off the jokes that day.
Yeah.
Most people with a good head on their shoulders kind of know it's like, okay, hey, this guy's, he's kind of tense right now. Let's not joke too much. But some people just don't know when to turn that off. I'm a little bit more, than some guys, not as bad as some, but definitely worse than others on, a little bit more uptight with some stuff. But
I'm laughing over here. Yeah.
I know.
I see that side of Bubba sometimes.
But definitely like when it comes to, what I like them to do, where you helped us create, a mechanics checklist, accountability, it's like the less thinking I have to do on race day, the better. I don't want to have to double check anything with the mechanic. So we made a basically a checklist, laminated it so we can write on it and wipe it off. But every time we come back, it's a detailed schedule with a checklist on it too. It's like, hey, this is what's coming next. This is what you need to do. Get it done. All I have to do is look over when I grab my bike off the stand, and if I see you marked your stuff off, I don't have to ask any questions. We can go. So like I said, race day for me, it's, less thinking, less decisions. Just go there, do your job, and move on. So a lot of times if you're chasing somebody around, double checking their work, it's just, you're not focused. You're not in the right state of mind.
The thing that scared me the most with being, I think I mechanicked for you once this last season.
Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta. Yeah, you do have a good memory, but I did remember that one. I knew where I was. Dude, we were talking about this today, Logan. His suspension's so stiff. Like I couldn't get his whole shot set by myself, and he was getting so mad. Because I was like, I don't know, is your whole shot hard? Like, and he's like, no. Like, I was like, that's the only thing I'm worried about today is like getting your whole shot, device set. He's like, no, it's not that bad. And we go up there and we're like, he's like pumped it like 4 times, and I feel like I'm gonna wear him out, and I couldn't get it locked in, and like someone else had to come over there, and I realized like, dude, it's crazy. Like I got better like as the day went on, but like that took a lot out of me. Like that was the thing I was most nervous about with wrenching for you.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, no one wants to sit there and pump that bike like more than you have to, because you're just exerting energy that you don't want to. But like,
yeah,
dude, your suspension's so stiff, especially like today. Like the difference between yours and Logan's, like for me, it was just way stiff.
It's a lot more plush than it was last year.
The real man bike, is that what you're saying?
I'll tell you what though, like there's some guys.
I'm gonna stay off the real man's bike.
I know,
too stiff for me.
I know some guys that it's like every time it takes them 2 or 3 people to set their whole shot device, and they'll break fork guards all the time because it's so rigid and just rips it off.
I was at the point even last year, like my stuff's not as even as stiff as Bubba's last year, and it was to the point where me and my mechanic, it was, for the most part, we couldn't do it. So instead of me trying to do it like 10, 12 times and spike my heart right before I go out, we always just had another mechanic help us out.
Yeah, it was gnarly. Like that was a whole new level. Like I had a whole shot device like there for a little while, a few years back.
You're ripped though, bro.
But dude, that doesn't mean anything. Like there was an art to pulling down the front end. Like
there
I learned.
absolutely is.
Oh, you need to call up Sean Tiemann and Cruiser CrossFit and have him freaking.
He would rip the bar
over here and double eagle, grab those kettlebells, and just start swinging.
He would rip the bars off though if he grabbed them and pulled down on it.
No, we'll test him with the Supercross suspension.
Out your 4. If you ever want to bottom out your 4,
every time you have somebody come out for Supercross and help you out, if it's like a one-day mechanic, like, yeah, I know how to set a whole shot device. Be like, well, no, it's different. Like if you've never set one with Supercross suspension, it's different because they always think, just a little pull. It's like they don't realize how, even with the softer Supercross setting, like you have to pull really hard. You have to time it right.
Oh, the timing is, yeah. Because like for you like to go on 3, right?
2.
Oh, 2.
1,
I go
2,
2.
and then the next pump?
No.
You go 1 and then
1, 2.
Yeah,
I'm a 3 guy.
Less energy.
You're 3. Less energy. It's
I don't
less
move 3 times. I only move twice.
You do the rock twice then?
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. The third one's kind of unnecessary, I guess.
Yeah, it's just an extra.
Make sure mechanic knows.
Yeah. And then when I was in Atlanta, then I think it was either Kate or somebody else that was next to us that they couldn't get it. So then I had to they were asking me to come over, and there was 3 of us literally trying to pull it down, and it's go time. It was kind of sketchy. My heart rate was 202 there. Talk about heart rate.
That's Clayson?
So was Bubba's.
Yeah.
That was Clayson. You shouldn't have helped him out, man. He stole that.
I know.
He got that 30K from me.
That was before that was Atlanta before the Salt Lake City run.
It was only a couple points separating us. If he would have, it was reset points.
It's a reset points, but
maybe he didn't even qualify in the top 6 for that.
I don't know if it was Kate or not. It was a PRMX rider.
Don't ever help out a competitor, man.
Yeah, dude, was it me?
No,
it wasn't me.
No,
it was maybe Cartwright.
I was thinking it was Cartwright actually. I don't think it was.
You shouldn't have helped Cartwright either.
Yeah, I'll tell him.
I'm just kidding. I love you, Josh.
Yeah, but yeah, dude, it's an art. For people who think, like you said, Bubba, I mean, I've set plenty of hole shots in my lifetime, but not in that environment when you only have that much room to work with between, because it's tight up there too. You don't have much room on those grates and stuff. I mean, it is your bars are inches away. So trying to just squeeze in there with your headset, your tool bag on the back, your pit board,
and you're sure as heck not setting it on the concrete.
No,
there's no way that's happening.
No, I mean it.
You gotta do it on the grate.
And it's a freaking art to it, but it I was tired after that. So, but
and you don't want to set it
that was
too
scary.
soon either, because there's so much pressure on that thing. I
So
always try to
much.
do it like at the last second, and then sometimes like they say to start them up, and my whole shot device doesn't even say it. I'm like, oh shit, let's go.
Yeah. Well, now like with electric starts, like you don't have to worry about like kicking it too, like right? Because
Yeah.
like a few years
This
ago,
is all new to me.
yeah, like a few
I
years
like
ago. Yeah, well, yeah, for you, you know, like people don't want to set them before they start it either, because it's like, well, I could start it and and then it could release or rock too much and I release it. But I can tell you what, you can tip Bubba's bike any way you want to. That thing ain't coming off. Like that thing's way down there.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so I had another question, and of course I lost it again. So
It wasn't important. Let's just
It
do
was
the would you
not.
rather.
yeah, would you rather? I think I have them here. So this one's for both of you, but I know your answer already, Logan. So I think someone brought this up yesterday. Would you rather have a White Claw or Bud Light?
White Claw all day, baby.
Which White Claw?
I like mango and raspberry. Actually, I like grapefruit too,
Grapefruit.
but I don't like lemon or lime. Not big on them. I don't even know why they have them in the packs. I feel like nobody likes a lemon or lime.
Dude, I do.
Are you serious?
But I like the black.
Dude, you
is it-
need to
what's the-
fire this guy, Bubba.
What's the other one? Black cherry, black raspberry.
Oh,
What's
I
that
don't
one?
like black cherry either.
Yeah, see, I like that one too.
Oh,
I mean, I don't.
dude,
but
you're
I don't.
weird.
I'm not a regular like claw drinker though. So
Yeah.
Aren't those grill drinks?
I think they're
big dog over here.
yeah. Angry Orchard.
He's gonna say Bud Light.
I honestly, I don't like beer. I would probably, if somebody offered one or the other, I'd probably say the White Claw. I think I've only had one or two of them ever though. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, Angry Orchard's probably the one I'm gonna drink.
Yeah,
So
it's a cider beer. Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
I'm down
It's
with
a little
that.
bit more manly than the White Claw.
Oh,
for sure.
dude.
What's the other one? Truly
I don't
or
know.
something?
Truly. Yeah,
That's
there's
close.
a lot of them now. There's
Yeah.
Truly.
What
and
do
then
you think? Do you
Vizzy.
think a White Claw is more manly than an Angry Orchard, or do you think? What do you think?
I'm gonna go with more manly? More manly would be White Claw.
Sounds so stupid to say, but I agree.
I kind of do. I mean, like, from a guy's perspective, like, let's be real here. Like, I'm a bourbon drinker, so like, but when it comes to beer, like, I'm not a connoisseur. So like, for me, like, everybody talks about IPAs and porters and stuff like that, like breweries and everything, like microbreweries and stuff. Like, for me, it's like I don't drink enough beer to really distinguish it. So like, for me, like, I'll drink like a Stella or something like that'll be my go-to. But I mean, I'll drink White Claw. Listen, on a summer day, like it's fine with me. Like, I mean, I try to like be somewhat healthy. So for me, like I feel like I can rather drink that. It's not as heavy for me, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
trying to watch that figure.
Get it? Yeah, dude.
Do you put protein in it while you do it so you can continue to get ripped?
Yeah, that's what you got to do. It's more water based, so it blends better with the protein blends. Yeah, so
That'd be a good idea. Get ripped while drinking claws.
I don't think it works that
I
way.
need that,
I
dude.
think-
I'm a scrawny little fella.
Yeah. So okay, that one was a given. Someone said that last night, but here's another one. So would you rather win a championship and not ever be able to race again? Like basically like not like you win a championship and it like disqualifies you from ever competing again, which obviously is not a real circumstance, but would you rather win a championship and never be able to race again, or never make a main event but get a race forever?
Win a championship.
Yeah, I'm gonna go championship too, man. I don't.
Because me and him are gonna race pro for however many years, and we're gonna make probably, I don't even know how many times more, just that one championship. So we're gonna take the
Yeah.
championship.
So you could
Well-
race professionally for let's say 5 more years. You make every night show, because I think the question said, or that you never make a main event. So you can make the night shows, so top 40 for 5 more years, or you win one championship and can never race again. Here's my thought on that, because I thought about it a little bit today. If you win it, like this is in current state, like this isn't a hypothetical that you're already like a top tier factory rider at this point. This is like today. Like if you go out round 1 and you crush it this season and you win the title.
That's the plan.
Here, it's always the plan, but here's the
West
thing.
Coast 250. Watch out.
That's what you said for episode 1, and we believe it, and we're going to hold you accountable.
He's still
for
tied for the points lead.
that.
1
You are
week
still
later.
tied. 2 weeks into this, and you're still tied for the points lead. So,
That's why Ferrandis moved up to 450 this year.
Yeah, because he still wanted to race you here, and you were going 450. Is that what you're saying?
No,
because he doesn't want to race me on 250 West.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Two-time champ, right?
He didn't want to have to
win 2
defend
years?
that.
Yeah.
He didn't want to defend that title.
Yeah.
But here's my thought on that would you rather question. So in this particular case, let's say it's this year for you guys, obviously, because I'm not relevant in this conversation, but you go out, you crush it this season, you win the title. You don't have like the buku money coming in right now from sponsors. And the sponsors would come because they'd be like, holy crap, like Bubba or Logan, you crushed it this season. You're going to be a defending title. And then you go, I can't race ever again. I can't ever race again. Like that was the deal I made. So like technically speaking, you would have only won the purse money unless someone comes on like mid-season because they're like, you're crushing it. I want to throw you some bonuses to run my product or something or do something. Then you might make some more boot. But
that's a tough one. I feel like I know what Bubba's going to say.
it's a non-realistic situation and I'm being realistic about it. So it's kind of like counterintuitive, but I'm just saying.
What do you think
Bubba's going to say it's not about the money. It's about the love of the sport.
No, that's not what I was going to say.
Okay.
But I didn't think about the money.
It's not about the money. It's about the personal goals that he set for himself and he accomplished them. That's going to be my answer for Bubba.
I mean, that's more valuable than any money, but
and he's going to log it in his journal.
But we don't have one championship bonus from the team or any sponsor in the contracts.
No,
we have some
main events.
We have race win bonuses too. There's some sponsors for us that have race win bonuses. You do not have a race win bonus.
But you do?
No.
Oh.
No. We haven't structured the team that high yet.
A race win or a race championship?
Race win. Let alone
I like to know you have some confidence in me.
The team does not.
Yeah.
Yeah, the team doesn't.
We have multiple sponsor programs that have race win bonuses.
Sponsors of the team, but not the team. International Supercross team does not have a bonus is what he said.
For a win. Yeah. So
in this case, would you? So
how much money are you really going to make off that championship?
I would still win the championship. Even if I didn't get rich off of it, I'd still take the championship.
Are you sticking with your answer?
I mean, well, you would collect you'd still collect some pretty good money. I think, if I remember right, if you were to win 450 championship, it's 12 grand for the win. I think Cowie contingency is like 10 grand or something per race. It's 20.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, it's like 10 or 20K per win from Kawasaki.
Oh, contingency.
Yeah, I added it up one time, but I think like all our sponsor bonuses, contingency, everything, like for a race win in the 450 class, I think I could make like 50K, which is horrible compared to any other team.
That's what you would win. That's what you'd make in contingency.
Purse money and contingency, like 50K per win.
Okay.
But
you could win the title and never win a race. That happened, right? That was Anderson. I think he won one race or something that year, right?
Well, still. So say you go out and win a bunch of races, win the championship, you're going to get a 100K bonus from Feld, which, let me tell you, 100K, like, oh my gosh, that's so worth the championship. But, that's all you're going to get in addition to that. So might have some sponsors. I mean, you probably get a lot of extra kickbacks on that.
So without,
I'd still go for the championship.
So without crunching numbers, what number are you saying in this particular case? If you go out and win the title from round 1 to round 17 of 2021, and you win the title at the end of 2021, based on current circumstances, how much money do you think roughly that would be with all your contingency and everything, the purse money?
That's a pretty wild guess. I don't know.
You talking about like 150K?
No. If you, with everything at the end of the season.
Like saying you're winning races.
Yeah. Let's say you do win a couple races, you get top 3s, and you win the title.
I would say probably anywhere between, well, I mean, you're going to be winning some races. So probably, I don't know, probably $500,000 at least.
Okay. All right. So we're talking
the cheapest championship ever won right there.
Yep. Of course. Of course. And you wouldn't be able to defend it and make more money the next year in this particular would you rather. So okay, let's say it's $500,000. Let's just ballpark it. It's $500,000 that you win it. Okay, I did the math on if you race for the next 5 years and you only qualify for the night program, that's 123, but that's just purse money. That's not counting any contingencies and bonuses for the next 5 years. That's just the purse money. If the purse doesn't go up, right?
Divided by 5. What's that?
Divided by 5?
Like 25K a year.
Yeah.
20, yeah.
It's like 25K a year. No, with no contingencies or bonuses.
Yeah.
So at that point, now I do go back.
Now you're back on poverty level.
Now I'm back. Now I'm going back to I have to take the championship as well because I'd rather take the $500,000 that I would win, even though it sucks because it's not structured for us to win championships right now, and you wouldn't be able to defend your title. in this particular case, which is crazy.
We're getting out there now.
Anyways, hey, that was a good one though. That was a pretty good
Let's
one.
go back to planet Earth.
I don't know who suggested that one, but I think
You.
No, it wasn't me.
Oh.
No. If we
I
were
like the
talking-
twist you took on it though, because it did lead into
It
some
added
other
more to
interesting
it,
things.
so-
So.
All
Good-
right,
good
I
job.
did come up with this one. Okay.
Oh, great.
Would you rather be in a 2-lap slam fest with Barsha or Pike?
Barsha.
Barsha, just because I really want to put him in the stands or something.
Oh, you guys got
Tough
beef?
blocks. Dude, that guy, every time, whether he's passing you or lapping you, he runs into you. You'll be on one side of the track and he'll be on the other, and he will turn and run into you. I remember it was, I think it was the Triple Crown in Minneapolis, and I think it was that race. It was like the second main event, he lapped me, and the third main event, he lapped me, and I got way out of the way both times, and he just slammed into me, like almost. I didn't crash either time, but almost. And I was just like, dude, I swear, I was like, if I see him in the next race, like I'm gonna ghost ride my bike into him. I was so pissed. I was like, not a single other person did that, and I was just like, I know he's wild, but I was just like, I don't know if he didn't like the number on my back or what. I don't really know him at all, but maybe I doubt it was anything personal. I don't think I did anything stupid to him, but I don't know if he treats like that to everybody, but I was just like, man, that is absurd. I was like, if he takes me high in a corner, I'm just going to fall over on top of him next time.
Oh man.
If I think about it, I probably won't remember in the moment, but.
So you said you would rather be in a 2-lap slam fest with Barsha. Both of you said that.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Pike's a beast.
Yeah. So you took it the way that I took the question. You took it a little differently. Like
I took it as some revenge.
Yeah, and I'm looking at it as like, how am I going to fare during these 2 laps?
Yeah.
Like, but I don't know.
Pike's
know who
a
I would
beast.
pick.
I don't want to mess with Pike.
Pike is absolutely going to take it off the track, like for sure. Like it's happening.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Like with Barsha, like he may yell at you or something. You might get into a little dispute and then he'll walk off. But like Pike's like gonna rip your head off. Like
I feel like Pike, you can
he's a gentle
you
giant.
can
Is that what you're gonna
predict
say?
what he's gonna do.
So you're just gonna load the bike up and at the end.
You
and
think
just
Freezy
haul out?
expected him to do that? Was he expecting that?
That's true. About ripped his head off.
I mean, I don't think
I thought that was so cool.
But anytime
that
like
made me a Pike fan. I thought that was awesome. Like everybody hated him, but like I think that was pretty sweet.
Yeah. Well, not a lot of people liked Freezy after that either, though. Like
Freezy's such a nice guy, though.
Yeah,
like
that's
he
what I've
makes some
heard.
bonehead moves on the track, but he really is a good dude.
yeah.
I don't know him that well, but he's always been over the top nice for me.
You know, someone like him is a good starter, though. Like, you know, he's going to, you know, back then especially, like he started up and then he couldn't hang there. But, you know, lately in the last couple of years, like he'll hang there for a little longer. But, you know, someone like that's they got to do, like they're in salvage mode, right? Like they're trying to like stay up there. So you got to push around and battle it.
And he's getting so much better too.
Yeah,
like he used to get a good start and drop back pretty far. Like now if he gets a good start in a heat race, he'll drop back to maybe 5th or 6th.
Right.
And, I mean, he's getting better. You're only gonna get better if you ride with those guys. So
I'm not
I think it's sweet.
for sure, but I think like last year or the before, I'm like A1, he got like 9th or something
In the
like,
heat?
in the main event. Like
Oh yeah,
9th or 10th
no,
or
dude,
something.
I just watched A1 at your house a couple weeks ago, and he got like 2nd or 3rd in the heat race. Like
Yeah.
pretty close to the leader
he's one
too.
of
I
those
was like,
sleepers that
damn.
people don't really like count on, but
Yeah.
Vince is a good dude, and man, like I mean, there's a lot of like championship winning guys that were just like either one spot behind or in front of him, like, you know, first race of the year, and nobody talks about him. And
Yeah.
just like, dude, like Vince is solid.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get him on the team eventually. We need some more money though.
There you go. Yeah, we need a little bit more. Would you rather ride a main event with? So I think I thought of this one again today too, because you and I were talking about like just because I got arm pump when I was riding today, so I was like, oh geez, I got everything. Like I had arm pump, I had hand pump, everything. You know, I felt like I was riding a bulldozer when I was on Bubba's bike. But would you rather ride a main event with arm pump and have to get 15th? Like let's imagine like it's a point situation, like you needed to finish in top 15. So would you rather ride the main event in arm pump and knowing you had to get 15th, or ride a main event with no rear brake knowing you have to get 18th? And
you would say no rear brake.
I added the twist because, like, if I just said, would you ride a main event with an arm pump or with no rear brake? Like, you could be like, okay, I'll just salvage it out there. I'll
Dude,
just go out there.
honestly-
But you have to get 15th if you have arm pump. If you have no rear brake, you have to get 18th.
I think no
So you have to
rear
ride.
brake. Because you get to the point when your arm pump gets so bad, like you can't even hit rhythms. Like I feel like me and him actually did a no rear brake moto, and towards the end of that moto, you start kind of getting in a flow.
Did you use your front brake?
Huh?
Did you use your front brake? It was supposed to be no brakes at all.
No brakes at all. Is that what I said?
You said no rear brake.
Oh, I mean no brakes
rear.
in general.
No rear is what.
I mean, we could actually probably go around that track pretty fast with just a front brake.
Yeah.
I would say no front brake. When you get arm pump, dude, like going through the whoops and everything, like it gets so hairy.
Yeah.
You can crash going through them.
So you would rather ride no rear brake and need to get 18th versus knowing you have to get 15th and do it with arm pump.
Oh yeah, no rear brake at all. I mean, shoot, if you had the front brake, that's all you need. I mean, like I said, we did motos with no brakes at all, no front or rear. So, if you use a front brake, easy.
Yeah. I don't know. Both of those situations aren't good. Not good.
Would you rather use no rear brake or no front brake for a full main event?
No rear brake. Dude, it's 70-30 percentage stopping power. Front brake 70% stopping, rear brake 30.
That's what the stopping power it
know.
produces. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's like the most stable brake that you would have. Like,
yeah, but we're like all traction in most of these
if you have no
Supercrosses.
rear, like you're gonna rely on the full 70% that you would need from that front brake, which then could tuck the front end. Like your risk of falling over would be a lot higher. That'd be harder. I don't know, but I'm not as talented as you guys.
Front brake all day.
I think Logan would rather have his rear than his front.
I think so, yeah.
Dude, think about just like brake sliding over the top of a berm. Because you're just locking the rear brake up going into a rhythm and from a rhythm into a turn.
Yeah, but like you're gonna knife the front end hard coming in only using front brake.
But you can get your lean angle quicker.
I wouldn't. I'll just stick with both brakes.
Well, that was the last one, so I don't have any more unless you guys have any. But we can wrap it up.
Should I say the one that I asked over there? No.
Nah, probably not.
Probably not. Okay. Yeah,
Too
we'll
early.
keep that one.
Too early.
Would you rather eat Chipotle or Qdoba?
Yeah,
Chipotle all day.
Qdoba.
Oh,
Yeah.
you
And you're
suck.
only saying Qdoba because you get free queso, right?
That's what everybody
Free
says.
guac. And
Free
chips.
guac and
and
queso.
But who
queso.
cares?
Let me
Chipotle
ask-
tastes better.
Yeah. Do you order the guac and the queso at Qdoba?
I just tell them to put it on my bowl.
Okay. Because
And
I was
it's
going to be even more mad if you don't even get those things, and your justification was that those are free and you didn't get them because like you didn't like them. Like I didn't know. Like,
I
was
love
upset.
those things, and it's free. So it's like, dude, you save a couple bucks every time.
I didn't know you get free guac there.
Yeah.
I'm not a big guac guy, but I mean,
I love
I
guac.
didn't.
that is a
I
big
know.
savings,
And
I
when
guess.
we went there the other day, I didn't order it because I thought I had to pay for it.
Yeah. Chipotle probs, bro.
You make fun of me for being cheap, and you didn't get something you would have enjoyed.
Guac's like $2, and I'm like, come on, man, I like guac, but paying $2
You should have
for
saw.
it.
Dude, you should have
$2?
saw his
I'm
bowl.
just
It was the
saying, dude.
tiniest thing I've ever seen in my life, dude. It was like this big. It was so small.
I just ate like 2 hours before that.
Did he have a White Claw sitting next to it?
No, I did not claim
dude,
that
he
I drink
didn't.
White Claws. The question was White Claw or Bud Light. So, or which tastes better? No, what there was, I don't know what it was, but anyways, in that case, whatever. All right, anything else?
Would you rather wear a mask or a shield?
Oh my god.
A mask. A mask.
A mask.
So do you even know yet?
Bubba's going
shield.
like.
He's going shield. He
Is it
came in
like
the room
Darth
this morning
Vader
with the
that
shield.
wears the whole thing?
Yes. He came in the bedroom this morning, like bolted in there with a mask on.
No, the shield.
Or the shield, excuse
I
me.
just got him off Amazon.
shield.
Man. Full mirror shield. Can't see my
I
face at
couldn't
all.
see your face at all.
Yeah, it's
Where'd
cool.
that come from?
I got it on Amazon. I ordered like 3 of them. Chad Reed and his wife and a
I'm not
couple other
wearing
people
it.
were wearing them at the races.
Fantastic quality, by the way.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet it
They're
is.
$8.
Is it like a visor? Like you just put it on the front? Is that how? Like
got a little
ears?
headband.
Like Mickey Mouse ears? Is it like that? Like it just comes around, or is it a full headband?
Got a headband.
Oh.
Do we
okay.
have to wear those at the
Yeah,
races?
it's a hat.
if we
It's like a visor. Yeah.
do we have to wear those at the races this year or what?
That's what I don't know. I don't know.
Oh.
We haven't. I don't know.
If we do, that's what I'm wearing. So
I'm not wearing masks.
What? A mask?
no,
We
the shield.
I don't think you have to wear the shield.
We
I
gotta
think you're
get
gonna-
tested to go to each race. So you think we would?
I think you're gonna have to wear a face covering, but I
Uh-huh.
don't think they're gonna mandate a shield.
I'm wearing the shield then.
Is that what you asked? You
What?
think that we have to wear a face shield?
No, do we have to wear like a face covering? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, if we're getting tested at each race, then if you don't have it, then what do you need to wear it for?
Yeah. I don't think they're gonna make us test on that. So every
Yeah.
single round, but
We'll see.
we don't know yet. I guess we'll find out.
I can't afford to test every race, so
Yeah. Well, we're at an hour and 30 minutes, so
Shut it down. I'm tired.
shutting
I'm
it
hungry.
down. It's been a long day, but
Yeah, we still got to cruise home too.
yeah,
My
got
God, like an hour and a half drive
hour and a
home.
half drive home. So, but anyways, yeah, we like to thank Double Eagle MX for providing the facility here all day, riding the Supercross track. Obviously, one of our big supporters coming into the 2021 season. Thankful for their support. Great people. Be sure to check them out on their Instagram, Double Eagle MX, and find out how you can be a member of the facility and take advantage of the track, the grounds. Check them out. Obviously, we want to thank our title sponsor, Mad Parts, as well, and Numera Technologies. So thanks for all the support, and we'll see you guys on the next episode. Thanks a lot. Have a good one. Have you ever wondered what it takes to run a Supercross team? What the day-to-day looks like? How about behind the scenes at the races and what happens during the week between rounds? Join me, Ryan Coons, as we follow the Mad Parts, Double Eagle MX, Numera Technologies Kawasaki team through their journey in the 2021 Supercross season. This is After the Gate Drop.